I was born a Muslim. This may shock many of my listeners, but it is the truth. I grew up in a tolerant Islam family. From early age, devotion to the Prophet and Allah were predominant. I was seeking a personal relationship with God. It was also necessary to please God, in order to receive from Him help and support. I was studying at university, and had to confront a group of students who were Christians. They were all evangelists, and had great faith in their God. We spent our time competing with our religious knowledge. Above all, we were looking for the contradictions in our holy books. We were real Philistines, and not open to study with objective mind. I was good at that. To call on scriptures in order to destabilize the other one. I have read dozens of books and exegesis, written by atheist scientists. It was important for me, at that time, to know the Bible and to be able to demonstrate all the inconsistencies. According to the scholars I was reading, Jesus did not exist. He was a fictional character, enabling the temporal power of a church, seeking to control humans. The Bible was considered simply as a myth. My friends did not take the time to read about Islam. They stuck to their beliefs, and made no effort to expand their knowledge. I understood that it was possible to demonstrate anything and the contrary. Religions are matter of faith, not about objective understanding. I found out that the Quran is not just made up of texts from the Prophet Muhammad. It is also made up of texts from other people. I was shocked to read about all the battles and forgeries to gain power after the death of the Prophet. At 21, I received a book that changed everything in me. And it happened overnight. To change my perspective and to see through the storm that was rising in me. The announcement of Christ in my life. I felt shame to have worshipped a so-called religion. Who prepared me to reject Christ? Can you understand how deep the religious education I received? My community couldn't bear the name of Christ, as God's presence on earth. I remember being angry, when Christians were trying to speak about a Christ. A Son of God. I was cynical, and often said, how come a Son of God can die? Trying to humiliate Christian faith. Entering in a church, was entering in the house of the Satan. All my body was reacting with fear, and could only run away from the building. Only a person who is possessed by demonic entities, would react like this. Ask to exorcists. When I was seeing Christians, doing the cross sign, I was asking God to protect me from this evil. When Christians were saying Christ is God, it was an extreme blasphemy, and was considered as a sin. As Muslims, we believed Christians would go to hell, because of all their religious beliefs and deny of Prophet Muhammad as last prophet, and Allah the only God. Can you imagine the earthquake that it was for me, to see Islam dissolved completely in my soul, in an instant? My mother suffered a lot, to see me distancing myself from Islam by stopping practicing. It was very painful for her. She believed she could go to hell because of me, not following Islam. She left us a few months ago. I had spent so many years cultivating the faith, the esoteric knowledge of the Christian mystery schools without showing it to my own family. I have waited for my mother to leave this earth, so that I could freely express and share the teachings based on the inspiration of Christ. I have seen the religious intolerance in many faith groups. I have seen how religious communitarism is driven by ignorance and fanaticism. I recognize the importance of the Orthodox Church, because the future of the world depends on its strength and integrity. I even decided in this life to receive the Christian Orthodox baptism. I felt vital, in a time of chaos, to bear the imprint of Christ in the physical level too. Being Christian, is to welcome Christ, God's presence into my life. And confess. I'm part of Christ community.